COVID-19 quiz, everybody. If you were here last year, you will have seen us attempt to pull this quiz off, and I think we just about managed it. The whole point of the quiz is that these guys have collectively a reasonable level of knowledge, but all of us up here are far from experts. But that's the point, because I think if we had 6 experts up here, this would probably be the most boring thing you've watched, because it would just be smartasses giving you the right answers to all these questions. So the whole idea of it is that we all learn something along the way. We've mixed things up this year. We've included new rounds. We've got some interaction. We're going to get these people on their feet. So hopefully bear with us, and you're gonna enjoy it. So my name's Tony Temple. I am here with my colleague Paul Drury, who is going to be keeping scores. You'll be pleased to hear. You may remember last year we didn't keep scores, but Paul has a calculator.
We sort of kept scores.
Yeah, we kind of did, but I was kind of making it up as I went along. So we have 2 teams, everybody. We have Team Walter. You may have spotted Walter's. I don't know. Do you know where Walter is, Bill? All right. Okay. Yeah, he's at the bar. Team Walter is. So Walter will be heading up this team. He is joined by none other than Nathan Barnett. Joining Nathan for the first time this year, first time ever actually, Jeff Lee is here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Jeff. Keep an eye out on the panels. You'll be learning a lot more about Jeff and what he's done and why he's here at all. And you can also see him out there on the main floor, as well as Nathan. Team B is headed up by none other than Billy Mitchell himself, ladies and gentlemen. To Billy's right is none other than friend of Free Play Florida, author, writer of amazing video games, Mr. Warren Davis, ladies and gentlemen.
And returning failure from last year.
Yeah. And finally, on my left here is, joining Billy Mitchell on his team, is renowned classic arcade gaming collector, restorer, raider, flipper, font of all things knowledge, Jen May. So round number 1 is arcade firsts. The first question is for Billy's team. Are you ready? Question number 1. Which classic arcade game was the first to use a continuous background soundtrack? Team Billy, you may confer. I can only take your first answer.
I'm going to say Tron.
Incorrect. Team Nathan and Team Jeff, would you like to give an answer for 5 bonus points?
We're just going to guess Space Invaders.
Incredibly, you are correct. Very well played. 5 points to Team Walter. Very well done indeed. Space Invaders, of course, 4 simple chromatic descending bass notes repeating in a loop. Doom, 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 doom. That was the first arcade game to feature the first continuous background music. Ladies and gentlemen, Walter Day. Walter, you're in play. Your team has to identify which classic arcade game was the first to feature a continuous background music.
Stratovox?
It was not Stratofox. It was a good guess, though, Walter. Billy's team, would you like to answer for 5 points?
We're going to say Tron.
I'm afraid incorrect. No. One guess. No. Anybody in the audience know the answer to this question? Yes. Donkey Kong. Good guess. Not quite. The answer is Rally X. Rally X used Namco's 3-channel programmable sound chip. The same year saw the introduction of speech synthesis, which interestingly was Stratovox. So you were close, Walter.
So we can get half the point.
Yeah, you're welcome. Billy's team, for 10 points, which arcade game is believed to have been the first to have its own TV commercial? Do you have a microphone or not?
Space Invaders.
Incorrect. Walter's team, would you like to guess for 5 points?
Time's up.
Pong.
Incorrect. The answer is believed to be Atari Xevious in 1982, as late as that. Atari produced a TV commercial specifically for Xevious. They touted it as the Atari game you cannot play at home. And this is believed to be the first TV commercial for an arcade video game. Walter,
who's doing this research?
Walter, this is your question for 10 points. Which was the first arcade game to feature stereo sound? Star Wars.
Star Wars?
Star Wars is incorrect. Billy's team?
Who wrote these questions? They're fired.
No? Anybody?
Pole
okay,
position.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Pole position.
Close but not quite, I'm afraid. Anybody know? Yes. Not quite. The answer is William Sinistar, 1983. Yeah, you're welcome. Sinistar was also the first to use the 49-way custom-designed optical joystick.
Now, if you asked me that, I would have known that.
Yeah, okay. Where are we now? So we're now at Billy's team. Can you name the first arcade game to feature scrolling from left to right?
Scramble.
It's a good guess. It's not quite right. Walter, bonus of 5 points.
Well, we know in 81, Defender was pretty early.
It was pretty early. Not quite right. It is the subject of some debate, but it is believed that Atari Football from 1978 was the first game to feature side-to-side scrolling. Yeah, I probably would have given you it for Superbug. Superbug also scrolls around, but not strictly left to right. There you go.
Can we get a question with an obvious answer?
Sure thing. Walter's team, what was the first arcade game to feature parallax scrolling, where multiple backgrounds are scrolling at a different rate?
Well, how many people?
Can you define parallax and then use it in a
how many people know what
sentence?
parallax score?
Entering another dimension.
So where you have various backgrounds that scroll at a different speed.
Oh, like depth. Oh, so like depth.
1982. Williams Electronics.
William Electronics. Is that the clue?
1982, Williams.
Would it be?
We have a
Let's say 81. Would it be? Would it be Stargate?
I just gave you two.
Can you be our lifeline?
Stargate.
Not quite. Billy's team.
He's so harsh with his denial.
No. The answer is Williams Moon Patrol.
What is it? Moon Patrol. Oh, that makes sense.
So after Atari Football, scrolling got more complicated and more interesting. Defender made it smoother and faster, and Rally X made it in multiple directions. However, it wasn't until Moon Patrol that games saw the pseudo 3D technique known as parallax scrolling, in which separate layers of the background move at different speeds.
Way off.
Question, I've forgotten where we are. Where are we, Paul? Where's Walter? Here you go. This one's for you. What was the first two-player cooperative gameplay arcade game?
Well, we know that in 81, Wizard of War was that kind.
Not quite.
Okay.
Not all.
Billy's team? It was a black and white game. Atari's Firetruck, 1978. So one player sits and controls the fire truck. Player two stands behind and controls the trainer. Great fun, awesome game.
Ask us who's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Billy's team, what was the first arcade game to feature cutscenes? Correct,
Pac-Man.
for 10 points.
Had animation. I wouldn't call that a cutscene. I am a film snob.
They did. So in Pac-Man, as you all know, when you complete a couple of levels, you get a comical interlude where Pac-Man and the ghost run around.
Dragon Bear is more of an actual scene with feeling and emotion. I'm not getting much from that.
Walter, it's your lucky day. What was the first game to feature synthesized speech? You may have already said the answer. The answer is, of course, Stratafox. Known as Speak and Rescue in Japan, the game was developed by Sun Electronics. Billy Mitchell's team, what was the first game to feature sound? The first arcade game to feature sound? any kind. It was not Computer Space. Computer Space did not have sound. I don't know. The answer is Atari Pong. The answer is Atari Pong. 5 bonus points for your team. They did not get it. Yes, they did.
You said the answer.
No, they said the answer, and then I clarified the answer. So that's the end of round one. Paul Drury, what is the story?
Well, thank you for that. At the end of round one, in pole position is Team Walter with 20 points. Still stuck in the Amiga race is Billy's team with 10 points.
It is anyone, all to play for. Round two is arcade charades. We are going to act out some arcade games. I've got a timer. You have got, Warren, 30 seconds to guess this game. Pac-Man is absolutely right. Very well done. Guys, you want to see? Jen, there's more. Okay. 30 seconds, go. Correct. Very well done indeed. And there's your third one. No. 30 seconds in your own time, go.
Centipede. Missile Command. Space Invaders.
Correct. Well done, Warren. It's your turn.
How many points was that? 75?
30 points. Very well done. Okay, Jeff, are you guessing? It looks like it.
He's seen the answer.
All right. 30 seconds. Here we go.
Frogger.
Well done, Jeff. Bonus points there for getting it within 5 seconds. Yeah, the answer was indeed Frogger. Question number 2 is that one. In your own time, go. Well done, Jeff. Awesome.
Okay.
30 seconds in your own time, go. Ten, 9, 8.
2 words.
No.
I got it.
You guys can guess? Punch Out is the correct answer. Nintendo's Punch Out, of course. All right. Paul, how did the teams do at the end of round 2?
I must say they redeemed themselves somewhat there. After 2 rounds, the Super Marios are Team Billy with 45 points, and the Evil Ottos are Team Walter with 40 points.
Excellent punnage, Paul. Thank you so much.
I have it on good information. They're cheating and they're using MAME.
Harsh but fair, Walter. Round number 3, everybody, you'll be pleased to hear, is going to be a little bit quicker because it is a buzzer round. Otherwise, we're going to be here all evening. So please, your buzzers. Billy, would you like to do your buzzer so everybody knows? Okay. Walter, how's your buzzer? Okay. So you need to buzz yourselves in. I'll have to take your first answer. If you get it incorrect, it goes to the other team for a bonus 5 points, potentially. Vector arcade games. Question number 1.
Can we phone a friend to the
What
stage?
was the first commercial Vector arcade game released in 1977? Nathan Barnett.
Pong.
Vector arcade game. Incorrect. Over to Billy's team for a bonus. The answer is Space Wars.
That's an ATM.
So Space Wars formed the basis of the platform used by Cinematronics in the early 80s. Most of their subsequent black and white Vector games, such as Star Castle and Tail Gunner, were based on this basic custom design. Space Wars was the first Vector arcade game.
Space Wars is also the game that has the lowest world record score, only 19 points.
Okay, question number 2. Vector arcade games. Can you name the only Atari Vector game where 2 players can play cooperatively on the same screen? I'm not hearing any buzzing.
Warrior.
Jeff.
Warrior.
I'm afraid not. Team Billy? I'm afraid not. The answer is Space Duel. Designed and created by Owen Rubin, 2 players can play cooperatively on the same screen. We have another Vector game. Warren. Can you name the developer responsible for many of Cinematronics' Vector releases? Warren Davis.
Tim Skelly.
Absolutely right. Tim Skelly, of course, responsible for Rip-Off, Starhawk, Armor Attack, and all sorts of other games subsequently gained. Can you identify this Vector arcade game by this artwork? Walter, you're absolutely right. The answer was Quantum.
Does
The
that,
right
does
hand
it,
side of the
does it
market.
count being correct?
That-
So
that
it's
counts.
Quantum.
Bonus for 5 points.
So we're even now.
That's right. A very rare game. Didn't see a full release. There is one on the floor. You should guys could go and play it.
So,
An
so
absolute-
we
absolute
right,
cracking game.
Tony, in that it was 300 copies they made of it? Because that's what we heard back in '83.
Yeah.
300 copies were made.
Which Vector arcade game was supposedly inspired by a dream about monsters climbing out of a hole in the ground? Team Walter.
I jumped the gun.
Can we take half points for our live audience? Lifeline?
Team Billy, any ideas?
Well, I hit the buzzer thinking it's Dig Dug, but it's not Dig Dug. It's not a Vector game.
No? Anybody in the audience?
Rip off.
Yes, sir. Tempest is absolutely right.
Wow, that's impressive.
Dave Toyer supposedly had a dream about monsters climbing out of a hole in the ground. I'm sorry. Can you speak into the microphone, please, Warren? Which manufacturer released Vector Classic TAC-SCAN?
Taxes.
Team Billy.
Sega.
Sega is absolutely right.
The only company that matters.
The game is notable for its 3D vector graphics that switch between an overhead and third-person perspective. Can you identify this Vector arcade game from the screenshot? Remember to press the buzzer.
Black Widow.
Jen May is found her form. Who is this guy?
Major Havoc.
Jen's.
Crap.
It's, Jen's on fire.
Roll now.
Jen May is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Atari's last Vector release, designed by Owen Rubin. Was there anything that Owen Rubin didn't have a hand in? How many Vector games did manufacturer Centuri release, and can you name them? Okay. 5 points for one. Warren Davis, you guys? No. You did answer. You got 5 points for getting half of the answer. Oh, right. Yeah, very good, Warren. I see what you did there. The answer was Astrak. Of course, if you guys were here last year and the year before, you will have seen the restored Astrak arcade cabinet. The game was written by the late Tim Stryker.
Cool name.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was the end of the Vector round. Paul Drury, what is the story?
Well, after 3 rounds, the clever Cuberts are Team Billy with 90 points, and the Uggs and Wrongways are Team Walter with 45 points.
What?
Very well done. So round 4 is, it's an interactive round called Blindfold Gaming. I'm going to need the assistance of my glamorous assistant, Mr. Paul Drury. If you could just... So we are going to get these guys to hold a control panel, and they are going to have to identify the control panel by the power of touch. We need you to identify this classic arcade title by the control panel. Note the protruding joystick in the middle. No.
It's really not a control panel, guys.
You'll also notice it's cold to the touch, which might give you a clue.
I think I know. I have no idea.
Okay, can we ask you for an answer, please?
No wonder why you wanted all the hands on the table.
Yeah, find the microphone.
Can we? Are you gonna take it away before we answer?
Okay, there you go. You can take that off. So you can talk now.
Could you guys have an answer?
I have a thought. Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
To the mic.
I don't know. He knows things. I don't. So. Should I go with my? I was gonna say Tron,
2.
but I'm probably wrong.
The answer was Golf.
I admitted it. That's what Walter said.
Guys blew it.
Why didn't you listen to him?
Unlucky, guys. You missed out on 100 points there. Do you want to do the next one? Yeah, we just do one.
So sorry.
Okay.
I felt it felt like a Tron.
Jeff, can you help me with Portugal? So we're now drinking.
Can I keep the popcorn under the sheet?
Watch the hair. Jen's
Yeah, watch out.
Please watch Billy's hair.
Okay, put your hands out.
Yeah, we should just all go now, right?
Watch my drink.
Oh,
It's the game of your life. It's the best game you've ever played.
Okay. Here is your control panel. Can you identify the classic arcade title? So you have a trigger joystick and a lever.
Meeting of the minds over there.
I'm going to have to hurry you for an answer, I'm afraid.
I didn't start playing this game until 81.
5 seconds.
Yeah, maybe 80. But that earlier stuff.
There you go. I have to ask you for an answer.
We're yelling tail gunner.
It is not Tail Gunner.
Tank battalion.
You can remove the blanket and reveal for yourself. Gunfight.
Oh, who could have guessed that?
Really? You guys
Raise your hand.
Really?
If you play gunfight.
let's play Gunfight, right? There you go. Guy at the back. Yeah, he knows.
Insulted right now.
One hand. Tony is good.
2-player classic black and white game. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was the interactive round. Everybody, this is Warren Davis's favorite round. It is identify the arcade cabinets via tiny bits of art. Warren loves this, and for every one he gets correct, he's going to get double points. Fingers on buzzers, please. Can you identify these classic arcade games from the artwork? Come on, Warren. Come on, Jeff. Walter
Mad
Day.
Planets?
Very well done indeed.
I worked on that game.
Well done. Mad Planets, of course, by Gottlieb, 1983, developed by the late Kan Yabumoto, who passed away in 2017, but has left us with a glorious legacy. Absolutely fantastic game. Ooh, Jen May.
Kangaroo.
Incorrect.
I mean Dig Dug. Dig Dug.
So you don't get 2 bites of the cherry.
Dig Dug. Dig Dug.
It's 5 bonus points to Walter for correctly identifying it as Dig Dug. Produced under license from Namco, Dig Dug was programmed by a guy, Suichi Fukutani.
Say that quickly.
Yeah. Are you ready? Team Billy Mitchell.
Tron.
Tron is absolutely right. Are you ready for the next one? Ooh.
Timber.
Ooh, Jen, I'll give you that. Just.
Timber.
Timber. Is this a rare game, Jen? I guess it is, right?
I wouldn't say
Kind
rare.
of.
It's in every arcade in LA right now.
All right.
Is it really? Yeah.
The player assumes the role of a lumberjack, right? That's the game. The next cabinet. Yeah. No. Billy, bonus points. No? Anybody in the audience?
It's an Atari. It's Atari.
It is Atari.
It's like a Missile Command variant.
The answer is Orbit. Supposedly inspired by Star Trek, 2 players try to destroy each other's ships, which are shaped like ships from the Star Trek universe. Orbit's unique in that it has a crazy amount of Atari cone buttons across its control panel.
Let me ask a question, Tony. Has anybody seen an Orbit recently? I mean, I don't know this game at all.
Yeah, I've seen
Anybody own one?
There's a guy in the UK has one, I think. No? Very rare game.
Is it you?
It is not me. Next question. Not quite classic, more of a 90s title. No. Yes, Warren.
Virtua Racing?
Warren Davis, straight in. Very well done. Virtua Racing was initially a proof of concept application for exercising a new 3D graphics platform under development by Sega. It was designed as a proof of concept and then got developed into a full game. Fingers on buzzers, Warren Davis. Yes, Warren.
Terminator 2?
Terminator 2, of course. Based on the film of the same name, our very own Warren Davis had some sort of hand in the development of that game, I believe. You ready? Jen? Oh, yes, Jen.
It's Maneater.
It is Maneater. Crazy design on this arcade cabinet, released in 1975 by the very well-known Project Support Engineering, who I think disappeared without trace after releasing this game.
Maneater, Black Widow. It's kind of
But
interesting, that's all.
an absolutely awesome design cabinet.
The last known sale of that game went for $25,000 in Illinois.
Wow, is that right?
I have a picture of myself with it.
Okay, next cabinet. Can you identify the game?
Oh, no.
It's a black and white title by Atari. No? Anybody in the audience?
Skydiver. We said Skydiver.
Correct.
Thank you. We'll take those points now.
Skydiver is an interesting game. The object is to jump out of a plane, release a parachute, and land on the landing pad. To get higher points, the player must release the parachute closer to the ground, taking more risks. Team Billy, are you paying attention, or are you looking at Jen's phone?
We're paying attention. And
Go
it's
on then.
Centipede.
It is Centipede. Designed by Dona Bailey and Ed Logg. It was one of the most commercially successful games from the video arcade's golden age. Paul Drury, what is the story with the scores? What am I saying?
He probably shouldn't say because they're getting depressed over there.
Story. Yeah, well, after that round, the Missile Commanders are Team Billy with 150, and the Circus Charlies are Team Walter with 70.
Just magnificent punnage.
Now, I know what you've all been thinking, that you could do a lot better than these supposed experts. Well, now is actually your chance to show that and rub your knowledge right in their smug faces. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Can you get out your phones, tablets, laptops, Commodore 64s with modems, however you get on the internet? If you take those out now, you can join in the quiz for the next round, and we have some actually really quite impressive prizes, we promise. Okay? So you lot can have a break. You can have some popcorn. Nobody's going to do that. You can have some popcorn. So, Tony, can you put that on screen? Right, here we go. Computer Space in 1971 was based on which game released for the PDP-1 in 1962? And on your phone, you'll be able to click the one of those answers that you think is correct.
Just watching.
You see, these people actually know about games, Tony.
Very
all right?
well
Unlike
done.
these people. Right, well done. It was indeed Space War, which was written by Steve Russell and some of his mates at MIT. And let's see how we're doing on the leaderboard here.
Look
Okay.
who's
Oh,
winning.
it's all quite tight there. Can I just say that if it only shows the first 10, but it is tracking your score. So even if you're like, oh, I got that right, that's because you didn't quite do it quick enough. But don't worry, you will get onto the leaderboard if you continue to get the right answers. Tony, next screen, please. And well done, Jade Journey. What was the name of the engineering company founded by Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney, which preceded Atari? Is it Nolan Tech, Sente, Syzygy? Very. Oh,
Well done.
okay. Yes, you're absolutely right. It was Syzygy, which then apparently they couldn't use that because I think a company that made roofs or something used that. So then they changed it to Atari. Tony, let's see how that affects the leaderboard. Ooh, that's mixed things up a little bit. Is Jade still winning? Ooh, there you go. Okay, right. Jade just out in front, but Greg very fast there. Well done. Okay, next question, please. Okay, so this one's on asteroids. What was the nickname given to the two spaceships in Asteroids? Was it Mr. Lowell and Mr. Hardy, Mr. Bill and Sluggo, Mr. T and Howling Mad Murdoch? Very good. Okay, now you're going to have to help me out because as you might have realised from our accents, we're English. So I think these were characters from Saturday Night Live. Is that right? Oh, there you go. Okay, so there you go. That has definitely mixed things up. Ooh, well done, Greg. Moving to the bit. Well done, everyone. Some people come up there onto the leaderboard. Okay, next question, please. Okay, one of mine and Tony's favourites, this. Name this arcade game released by Universal in 1980. That's the screenshot there. Was it Cheeky Mouse, Peter Pack-Rat, Gerbil War? It was Cheeky Mouse. Okay. Gerbil War was also really, I think it was the twin title with Squid Search. Is that right, Walter? Yeah, thank you. Right. Well done. Yeah, it was Cheeky Mouse, which is terrible but quite funny. Oh, that's mixed things up again.
Very well done.
Ooh, very close at the top there. Okay. Right. Okay. Now think about this one. Not including the joystick. How many buttons are there on an original Defender control panel? I've given you a bit of thinking time there. Yes. And if you go, are you sure, Paul? But there's thrust in it. Let's have a look. Can you click the next slide, Tony? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So well done if you work that out. think Greg's going to hold on to the lead there with that. There's a little cushion developing there. Very good. Okay, thanks, Tony. Next one. Okay, so this one's on Dragon's Lair. What was the name of the princess in Dragon's Lair? Oh, sorry, Nathan. Sorry. Let's see if they all know that. They pretty much know that. Okay. Yes, it was indeed Daphne. Yes, normally cited as the first Laserdisc game is Dragon's Lair. Okay. So let's see where that leaves everyone. Oh,
Who's
yeah,
Greg? Make some
Greg.
noise. Where's Greg?
Right at the back, Greg. Okay. Right. I think we're going to finish now. I think we've got 2 questions left. Yeah, 2 questions left.
He's the one that brought the popcorn.
Okay. In what year was the first Street Fighter coin-op released? And I do mean the first one.
Walter Day is saying 87.
And he would be absolutely
Well done,
right. Okay. Yeah, it was several years before the far better remembered and indeed far better game Street Fighter 2 was released. So, now Greg got that one wrong. So, as we go into the last round, okay, that's definitely still winnable. Okay, so, actually, no, there's 2 questions left, thinking about it. Okay, I think this one's quite hard.
Of course there is.
What was the name of the Valkyrie in Gauntlet? Thyra Elvira Questor. Well done. It was indeed Thyra. Another great game from Ed Logg, who also did Asteroids, amongst many other great games.
The audience has not been stumped yet.
They're very good, aren't they? Do you wish some of those were on your team?
Just one of them.
Just one would do, yeah. That was, how dare they? Okay. Now, really trying to... No, God, there is 2 more. Right. The original NBA Jam coin-op had a hidden polygonal version of which classic Atari vector game? Asteroids, Battlezone, Tempest.
Would you know
Well,
this, Warren?
Let's just see. Oh, that really split them there. It is, but yeah. You could... Yeah, you could actually... They got in a bit of trouble with this because you could play this game for free by doing some clever manipulation on the start screen. But yeah, if you click the next screen, Tony, we can just
So this is the first
show.
time the audience got
So
stumped.
they did a little hidden game thing there. But I think they removed it in later versions because you could play it for free and you could play it forever. There you go. Okay. So what has that done to the... again, Greg didn't get that one right. So
Was that the final question, Paul?
No, the final one. I wish... No, there must be one more. Super close, super close. I think this is the last one because it's not on video games. Yeah, so this is the final question. This is a pinball show as well. So the final one is on pinball. What is the biggest selling pinball table of all time? Is it the Twilight Zone, Revenge from Mars, the Addams Family? Barracking from the panel there. Well done. It is indeed the Addams Family with, I think, just over 20,000. Right. Let's see where that leaves us. And Jen, have you got the prizes? Right. Now, if you just don't leave that screen there, okay. So, well done, Greg. We have got multiple prizes. So, for the top, you've got 4, haven't you? Okay. So, Stout. Okay, who's Stout? Well done. Jen, can you give him prize 4? There you go. Yay, and a base. Well done, Stout. Yay. Is that what your mother knows you as? Stout, what's your actual name? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. What cultural ignorance I have there. I'm terribly sorry. Right, sorry, Stout. Okay. Right, so that wasn't good. So Paul, who is Paul? Thank you very much, Paul.
These prizes were actually donated from Epic Gameware, so you can go to their site, and he does T-shirts and car decals. He helps sponsor some things here. So
fantastic. Next up, Jason. Let's hear it for Jason. Well done, Jason. Up you come.
So you have your choice. Epic Gameware donated this shirt. It's a Death Ray shirt. or you can go out to Arcade Monsters booth, which is from Oviedo, and pick a shirt from their booth if you want. So you want an arcade one? Arcade Monsters. So you go out when it's over, go to their booth on the floor by the main door, and pick out a shirt. We'll
Okay.
let you know.
Thank you. And finally, Greg. Well done. Up you come. Now, Greg, you not only get this exclusive T-shirt, which will definitely fit you, we've also got kindly donated by the man himself, Mr. Bill Mitchell, some of his hot sauce signed by all the panel. Well done, everyone. You showed us how quizzes should be done. Let's get back to the experts on the panel.
Okay, welcome back to the quiz. Our experts are back in play. Another of Warren's favourite rounds, and indeed Nathan's favourite rounds. Identify the classic arcade game by the snippets of these screenshots. You need to buzz in on this one. Warren Davis, surely. Absolutely right, well done. Are you ready, Walter? Fingers on buzzers. Team Billy.
Berserk.
Correct. Berserk. Next question. Ooh. No. Anyone in the audience? The answer is Defender. It was the bomber from Defender. Fingers on buzzers. Jeff Lee. Very well done. Of course it's Mad Planets. Jeff, would you have drawn that astronaut? Really? Wow. Cool. There you go. I'm glad you got it. Could have been embarrassing. Next question. Sega game.
Mad Planets? Pinball?
No. Anybody? Carnival, of course.
Wow.
Team Billy.
Tempest.
Incorrect. I can offer it to Walter. It is a vector game. It is an Atari vector game.
Is it Gravatar?
Well done. It's Gravatar. Bonus 5 points then.
Gravity, Gravatar, completely different words.
Yes, Billy Mitchell.
We beat them.
Correct. It is Millipede. Ooh. Team Billy. Well done. It is Popeye. I didn't think anyone would get that. Well done, Bill. Good job. Next one. Jen May.
Food fight.
Food fight is absolutely right. Jen.
I didn't.
No? Anybody?
Circus Charlie.
Good answer, Bill. It's not right. Correct. Well done, whoever got that in the audience. Answer's Journey. You'll be delighted to hear that is the end of those. Round number 8, moving on quickly. But Paul, what are the scores on the doors?
After that round, the Donkey Kong Juniors are Team Walter, but the current Kings of Kong with 200 are Team Billy.
Fantastic. So with this round, we are introducing a new round this year called the Sound Round. Warren, you'll be delighted to hear this is a very quick, everybody gets individual questions. Jen, you are first up. You have a choice. You can either hear the sound of the classic arcade game played as you would typically hear it, or if you want to attempt to double your points, you can hear it backwards.
It's always better to be straight.
Safe way. You're going to play it safe. Can you identify this classic arcade game?
I know that.
I played it backwards. I'm so sorry. Jen? One more time. It is not Mappy. Potential bonus points.
Crystal Castles.
Incorrect. The answer is...
What is it?
Anybody?
Joe? Anyone?
The answer is Arkanoid. Billy, forwards or backwards? I'm sorry. You want it again? No. Anybody?
Defender.
Correct. The answer is defender. Warren Davis, would you like forwards or backwards?
Forwards, please.
Are you okay, Warren? Okay, no, you just look.
Dig Dug.
Yeah? Correct. Dig Dug. Jeff Lee, you're up. Forwards or backwards? Backwards. I can do backwards.
I'm sorry, I had chili for dinner.
Incorrect. You're going to kick yourself, Jeff.
Do we get a chance to steal?
Yep.
What is it?
It is not. It's Mad Planets. Walter, forwards or backwards? Forwards. It's the luck of the draw, man. I can't help it. Sorry. There you go. Miss Pac-Man is absolutely right. Nathan Barnett. Forwards or backwards? Forwards.
Don't be asking
I said I guessed ice grows, but I don't think it's right.
It's Frogger.
It is Frogger. You're absolutely right. Okay, it's just quick fire round. You need to buzz in. I'm going to play them forwards. I'm sensing nobody knows, right? Rally X. That's the music that was playing in the background. Same again. Quick fire round. You want to hear that again? It's for you guys buzzing. Yes, Walter.
Oh,
It's the track and field coin-up sound. Staying in the mind. Here it is. Nope. Make tracks, Walter Day. Heavens. forwards.
Your audience.
Correct. Well spotted, young man. Awesome.
Joe, you're in second place now, ahead of Walter.
Next one.
Got it.
Yes, Bill.
Moon Patrol.
Sorry, yes, absolutely right. Final one.
Pac-Man.
Everybody gets 100 points. Paul, what is the update on the scores over there in the engine room? 7.
So, oh my God, it's actually going into the last round, Tony. It's actually neck and neck.
Oh, leave it out. It's
No,
not,
it isn't.
surely.
It's neck and
What is that with the exchange rate?
They've both been smart bombs, and it's neck and neck.
Would you believe it?
anyone could win? It's just whoever wins this round, Tony. It's been amazing.
That's amazing.
It's been
How
amazing,
exciting.
honestly.
You're-
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting finish, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah,
So
you're-
the final round.
You're right, Al Gore. Let's have a recount.
The final round is general arcade
I
trivia.
thought you were actually scoring this year.
You'll be delighted to hear.
Let's just see
you
how
can
it
receive
goes at the end, eh?
You can receive double points here, so it's 20 points a question. I don't think I pointed out, but we are actually playing for prizes this year. You'll notice the 2 trophies. This is the honour for which you're playing for. So fingers on buzzers, please, everybody. This is the final round, and it's winner take all, according to Paul. Question number 1. Can you name the Williams title where players fly an ostrich and a stork? Walter Day. Correct. 20 points to Team Walter. Question number 2. Who currently owns the intellectual rights to Gottlieb's 1982 hit game Q*bert? Warren Davis, Team Billy. Sony Pictures.
Warren Davis.
Yep. Because the game was developed during the period when Columbia Pictures owned Gottlieb, the intellectual rights to Q*bert remained with Columbia even after they divested themselves of Gottlieb, and it ended up with Sony Pictures. Which 3 arcade games were released by Williams using the DURAMOLD style cabinet design? Jen May.
Bubbles,
Correct.
Sinistar,
Correct.
and Blaster.
Correct.
And there is actually one known existence of the Red Inferno, DURAMOLD.
That's a very good answer. Well done, Jen. This is a very unique design cabinet, literally, as the name would suggest, made out of a mold, released by Williams, sort of cabaret-sized machines. Released in 1982, this arcade platform game unusually does not have a jump button. Can you name it? Warren Davis. Incorrect. Incorrect. Anybody from the audience? No. Atari Kangaroo. Rather than pressing a button to jump, the player moves the joystick diagonally to jump. And the button is used to punch. Which classic arcade title financially outgrossed the film it was based upon? Walter Day? It was not Kroll. Team Billy. Bonus points. Correct. Midway's Tron as a video game actually outgrossed the movie when it was released. I suspect the numbers have swapped around slightly since then, but we're nearing the end, Warren. Hang on in there. This 1981 color raster TAITO arcade game doesn't feature shooting, racing, or mazes. Can you name it? Walter's team got in there first. Jeff Lee, save the best till last. That's a great answer, sir. Very well done. The objective of kicks, is that how you pronounce it? Is to fence off a majority of the play area on the screen. Can you name the two guys responsible for Williams' seminal arcade title Robotron? Team Billy.
Eugene Jarvis and Larry DeMar.
Correct. These two guys, Eugene Jarvis, Larry DeMar, responsible for Robotron. What else is there to say? Next question, specifically for Warren and Jeff. Can you name Gottlieb's first video arcade game? Jeff Lee.
They buzzed.
I'm afraid not, according to my sources. Would you like to have a crack at it, Warren?
No Man's Land?
Correct. No Man's Land, from what I could gather, was actually licensed from Japan. It wasn't actually written in-house.
New York, and No Man's Land, both licensed from Japan.
Okay.
We didn't know what order.
This 1982 arcade game by Williams had a production run of just 78. Just 78 of these cabinets were produced. Can you name the game? Nope. Anybody? The answer is Varcon. This is a video pinball game. It was built by Williams using the remaining 78 empty cabinets they had left over at the end of the production run of Motor Race, apparently. Which arcade game features Mr. Hot Dog, Mr. Pickle, and Mr. Egg? Jen May.
Burger Time.
Correct. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted, and you will all be relieved to hear, that is the end of 2019's Classic Arcade Gaming Quiz.
Let me guess, Paul, it's neck and neck.
Well, it was very tight, but in the end, I'm afraid Team Walter were eaten by ghosts, but the perfect pack men and women are Team Billy. Give them a round of applause.